Okay, hello everyone. Good afternoon. Yes, and it's this my this.
None.
Oh, sorry. Good afternoon.
Yes.
Everyone can hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Hello. Nice to see you again. I'm Christina. Okay.
Thank
So
you. I like the topic.
on the exercise.
Yes.
Okay. Later, we'll expect you to share also. Share with
Hello.
us. Okay. Yeah. So nice to see every one of you again. And we have our friends from the AAC Bukit Merah View. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, is
Can
the
you hear
volume
me?
okay? Yes.
But then you cannot hear
I
you.
cannot hear you. Can you talk?
Talk. Hello. Can you hear us?
Huh? What happened to my speaker?
Okay. Okay. So while you figure out, I'll just move on. So thank you very much for being on time today. So today we'll be sharing some of the best exercises for seniors. And so before we begin the talk, we'll need your help to mute the microphone while we are speaking, so to prevent any disruption. And then you can unmute your mic when you're answering questions, or later on when there's any discussion and I need some of your participation, you can actively share. Okay, so for those of you who have any questions, you can also choose to place them in the chat box as well. And we also hope to see all of your faces. So you can turn on the video if it's possible. And also, just like all the previous sessions, this session will also be recorded and uploaded on the Radin Mas Silver Click Facebook. Okay, so just a brief introduction of myself. I think all of you know me already, but yeah, I'm Josephine, and I mainly focus on the community outreach to identify the needs of the community and also provide service linkages for the residents. Okay, so a disclaimer that today's presentation is for informational purposes only, and should not be considered as medical or professional advice. So it's always best to consult your doctors based on your specific condition also, because everybody's body is different. Okay, so today we'll be touching on the following topics. So firstly, there'll be the introduction, followed by the health benefits of physical activity. And then next, we will go into talking about the different components of physical fitness. And lastly, we'll briefly cover some exercise-related injuries and how to manage them. Okay, so are Singaporeans physically active? Okay, so according to a report from the Statistics Singapore newsletter in 2016, they actually did a survey on how active Singaporeans are for the last 3 months, and it actually showed that 48.3% of the general population did not participate in any exercise or sport or walking during leisure time, and actually that's almost half of the population. So meanwhile, in the National Health Survey done by HPB, they actually revealed that in every 10 Singaporeans, one is obese. And this obesity rate increases 1% every year. And so why is this of concern? Okay, so obesity actually leads to a higher risk of chronic conditions like diabetes, heart diseases. So it is important as a country, as a nation, for us to keep this obesity rate as low as possible in Singapore. So today, so what are the Singaporeans, what are some of the reasons why Singaporeans do not participate in physical activities? Okay, so yes. So I need some of your sharing. Yeah, don't worry, there's no right or wrong answer here. So you can unmute your mic, or you can type in the chat box to share some reasons why you think Singaporeans do not exercise regularly. Anyone wants to volunteer?
Maybe I share. I feel that it's the mindset.
It's the mindset. What can you explain more on this mindset?
I found that many, especially the ladies in our generation, we are elderly generation, like from generation, we don't have this idea to exercise. But thank God for in Singapore, I guess the government found a lot of problems, medical problems. So these days they have a lot of activities and a lot of something like advertisement, encouraging elderly to exercise. But the mindset, sometimes mindset is like quite like in our mind, in the depth of our mind. So I think many elderly will say, oh, no need now. This is what I think.
Okay, thank you for sharing, Madam Christina. I think what you mentioned is actually correct. Before I move on, is there anyone else that would like to share also? Anyone else? What other reasons are there other than what Madam Christina mentioned on the mindset that Singaporeans have?
Can I share?
Yes. Hello. Hi.
If they are working and then if they work overtime, they may not have the time to exercise.
Okay. Yes. So no time to exercise if they are working. Yes. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing, Madam Peggy. Okay.
Is this a reason or excuse?
I think we'll move on to talk about that later. But for today, yeah, actually, I think what Madam Christina and Madam Peggy have shared, it's actually very real concerns of Singaporeans. So sometimes I think like what Madam Christina has shared, the mindset changes, mindset that I think exercise may not be that beneficial for us. You know, they don't know the benefits of exercising, and also and then Madam Peggy have also shared that it's actually for working adults, exercising may be hard because there is a lack of time. Okay, so and I think Madam Christina has also put it out very nicely that also actually now on a TV or even when you're taking the MRT, you know, those videos in the MRT actually show, like, encourage seniors to exercise, all the different programs, different benefits. So yes, so today we are here to share more. So according to that survey, actually the reasons that Singaporeans feel that exercising is hard is because some of them feel that they're too old to exercise already, poor health, lack of interest in sports and exercise, and also no time due to work or family commitments, and also insufficient sports facilities around. Some of them don't know some of the facilities around, and also some of them, they have this mindset that I do not believe that exercising will help in my health at all. Okay, and so on top of that, out of all these three reasons, there are actually the top three reasons in that Singaporeans think. So the top three reasons are actually no time to exercise, too busy with their lives, and then after that, too old and poor health. So I think some of you sitting here today may also agree with some of the reasons here. And so here we are here today to change some of your mindset on exercising, okay? To get you start thinking about it. So because sometimes exercising or being active is not as hard as you think it is. Okay, so before I move on to talk about all the theory parts in the presentation later on, so these are actually some key exercise terms that I'll be using later. I know it's very small, so I'll try to briefly read through it. So pick out the more important ones. So the most important one, what is an exercise? So it's actually a planned, structured, and repetitive movement to improve or maintain one or more components of your physical fitness. Okay, so what does it mean to be physically fit? So when you are physically fit, you are in a state where you have a low risk of premature health problems, and you have energy to take part in a mixture of physical activities. Okay, so when we talk about the exercise, what are the different types of exercises you usually hear? So there is the aerobic exercise training. So aerobic, so it actually involves your body, the large muscles, involves the large muscles to move in a rhythmic manner for long periods of time. So the large muscles, when we talk about large muscles, is actually usually your trunk of your body. So like your core muscles like in your body. So examples are like brisk walking and cycling. And then sometimes you always hear people say resistance exercise training. So actually, what is resistance exercise training? It's actually exercise that causes your muscles to work or hold against an applied force or weight. So I'm sure some of you have owned or you have used resistance bands before. So it actually helps us to strengthen our muscles. These are examples of resistance training. Okay, so now move on to the health benefits of physical activity and exercise. So as some of you may be familiar with it, it actually helps to delay death or cause mortality, and also reduce the risk of chronic heart diseases, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and also some forms of cancers. And it's usually done by lowering your blood pressure and enhance your insulin sensitivity. So on top of all of these, it also helps you to manage your weight and also helps to preserve your bone mass. And this will help to reduce your risk of falling. And so our bones will not be so brittle. Okay, so other than the physical aspects, exercising can also help with our mental and emotional health. So it helps to prevent and improve mild or moderate depressive disorders and anxiety, and makes you feel more energetic, and also increases your overall quality of life. And it also helps to lower the risk of cognitive decline and dementia. So actually with all these benefits, it's very beneficial for you to incorporate exercising in your lifestyle. Okay, so I have a little case scenario of Stephen, who is 60 years old this year. So as I go through the next few slides, some of you may also find the situations familiar. So you can also think about some of your daily experiences as I talk. Okay, so so 4 months ago, Stephen actually realized that he could no longer climb the overhead bridge without stopping like he used to 3 years ago. And after he climbs a few steps, he has to wait for a while to catch his breath before he continues. Okay, he also observed that he pants a lot when he walks slightly faster. So at the same time, he finds it difficult to bend over to pick up the toys on the floor when his grandchildren come over to visit him. And when walking around on the floor where there are uneven patches, so usually on the grass patches, he also finds himself losing his balance many times. Okay, so because of this, Stephen actually decided to incorporate some physical activity. So he decided to start brisk walking for 30 minutes. 4 times a week in the evening, and actually enrolled himself in Tai Chi classes every Tuesday and Thursday morning. So after a gradual period of time, he found himself feeling younger and actually having more energy to do the things that he enjoys. So as we age, I think we often find that our energy levels are dropping. So some of us may think, yeah, old already, that's why it's like that, or like what to do is our age, you know. And yes, while it is true that aging causes the decline in our physical fitness, but it does not have to stop at this stage. So there are small steps that you can take to make some improvements in your life. Okay, so now I'll continue to share about the 4 components of physical fitness and how we can work on improving each of them. Okay, so yes. So first on cardiorespiratory fitness. Okay, so some of the terms may be, so you feel there's a very, very big terms, but I'll help to break them down. And at any point, you can always ask questions. Okay, so the cardiorespiratory fitness, it's actually the ability of our circulatory, which is where our heart is, and the respiratory systems, our lungs, to supply oxygen to the skeletal muscles during a long period of activity. Okay, so regular cardiorespiratory activity actually helps to improve your insulin sensitivity and glucose regulation, and this will actually help to reduce your risk of type 2 diabetes. It actually also protects against heart diseases, increase your bone density, lowers cholesterol, and reduce blood pressure, and overall it actually improves your sleep quality as well. So what are some examples of cardiorespiratory fitness? Usually walking, brisk walking, cycling, swimming, and climbing the stairs. So these activities usually get our heart pumping. Okay, so next I'll move on to muscular fitness. Okay, so this is actually a very important part of component of fitness that we seldom think about. Usually when we think about exercising, it's always the cardio, more about running, walking, brisk walking. But muscular fitness is also equally important because it helps to maintain your full mobility and use of our muscles in the years to come. So by increasing your muscles, your muscular fitness will actually help to increase your metabolism, delay age-related losses in your bone mass, and reduce risk of osteoporosis. And this will overall, in turn, help to reduce your risk of falling as well. Next, so these are some activities to improve muscular fitness. So usually these exercises usually incorporates resistance bands and body weight exercises. So these are some recommendations that you can do. So generally 2 to 4 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions. So what it means is that for a particular set of exercise, maybe like pulling the resistance band, you do 8 to 12 times. This is one set. So you times 2 or times 3 sets, depending on how you feel that day. And usually you can look at doing this 2 to 3 times a week. So the important part of muscular fitness exercise is that it should be done in the correct form and technique using the proper breathing technique. So when you are exerting a force, you usually exhale, and then always start with lower weights, and then you gradually increase over the next few weeks when you are familiar with the exercises. So for example, for those of you who have not started muscular fitness before, you don't, when you go to the gym, then you see your other friends taking the 4 kg each hand. It can be quite heavy for the exercises when you first start. So for those of you who wants to start with very, very low weights, you can actually use your water bottles as a weight. You fill up your water bottles and then with water, and then after that will be about 1 kg weight. And also, if you are unsure to use an equipment in the gym or do an exercise correctly, also please consult a fitness trainer or coach before you even begin your fitness journey. Okay, so the next slide, I'll show you an example of a resistance band exercise.
You're working against that. Exhale, inhale, pull from the upper back, gently release. We'll do 3 more. 3, 2, last one, release it in front. Now we have nice long straight arms. We're gonna alternate opening to the side. So our right arm's just gonna open as wide as it can go. We gently release it center. Left arm open, gently release. Exhale, inhale. Think about that range of motion in our shoulder. We're pulling again from our upper back. Exhale, Inhale. 2 more on each side. 1 more each side. Gently release, just shake those shoulders out for a second. Make sure they're released and relaxed down. We're gonna do something, you're working against that.
Okay. Yes, so that's an example of a muscular fitness exercise that you can incorporate if you have a resistance bands at home. And okay, so the next component of physical activity is actually also very important as well. It's on our flexibility. So there are actually exercises that helps to lengthen and stretch your muscles. So this will help to prevent injuries or any back pain or balancing problems. And how they do that is to actually increase the range of motion around our joints. So with the if you are not if the range of motion around your joints is very limited, can actually lead to pain, and also there's a higher risk for you to get injured as well. And so sometimes when you underuse or you overuse your muscles, right, the way your muscles move will also will be limited. Yeah. Okay, so examples of activities to improve your flexibility. So for example, your quad stretch, hamstring stretch, calf stretch, arm stretch. So these are actually all our muscle parts. So the important, actually the activity is just stretching activities, stretching different parts of your body. So usually what is recommended is to hold stretches for 20 to 30 seconds. So for older adults, maybe 20 to 30 seconds may be a bit short. So you want to hold your stretches longer for 30 to 60 seconds. And then you repeat this exercise 2 to 4 times. And so I think you can do the stretching minimum 2 to 3 times per week, but it's also recommended to do it daily, so as to like warm up your muscles. And so I think it's also recommended when usually your muscle temperature is slightly higher. So for example, warm up exercise or after a hot shower, your muscles are actually just at a elevated temperature, so it's easier to actually stretch them out as well. Okay, so next I also have a short video of showing you how to do simple stretches. So for those of you who are interested to get the links of the video at the end of the session, you can always write in. We have an email chat and a number. Yes. Okay, so you can. Here's an example of some of the stretches.
I want you to hold your left hand out, palm up. Now tap yourself on the shoulder. With your other hand, scoop that elbow up and lift it as high as you can backward. And that is really going to stretch out our shoulder. Hold it right there. Now reach over to the side, stretch it out that way. That's it, hold it there. And relax, good. Let's try the other one. Hold up your right hand, palm is up. Now what we're going to do is tap ourselves on the shoulder, take your other hand, scoop up that elbow, and just bring it back for a nice stretch. Hold it right there. Feel that stretch in the shoulder. Good, now reach that arm across your body, pull it back. Good. You can move your wrist around. Here we go. Pull it back. Breathe. And relax. All right. Let's see.
I see that some of you also follow in with the stretches as well. And I also did it myself also, and you can actually feel that the stretch at your muscles, especially when you do this, is your back arm muscles, your triceps, actually you're stretching them out. And it's good to incorporate all of these, they say daily if you can. So it's just to really prevent any strain of muscles. Okay.
I want you to hold your left hand out, palm up.
Okay. So the last component of exercise is actually neuromotor fitness. Okay, so neuromotor fitness can actually help us to improve our agility, our balance, your proprioception, and that's actually your body's sense of judgment of the movement, and also improves our muscle strength as well and other motor skills. So for example, when you're about to trip over or like lose your balance, your neuromotor fitness will actually help you to correct yourself to actually stand up and prevent any falls and injuries. And it's actually beneficial for the older population. So activities that usually help to improve your neuromotor fitness is usually Tai Chi, dance, Zumba, trampoline classes. So for example, in a HPB website, when you see a functional fitness training, that is also an example of a neuromotor fitness. So it actually incorporates your motor skills, like your balance, your how to coordinate between your arms and your legs, your right and your left, and your gait, your agility, and also your proprioceptive training. So it's actually recommend general guidelines, recommendations to do it 2 to 3 times a week, and each session about 20 to 30 minutes. So however, for neuromotor fitness, there's more research has to be done before any definitive recommendations can be made. So these are just general guidelines. Okay, so now it's sharing time. Can I get some of you to share how is your weekly exercise routine like currently? Yes. No right or wrong also. We would just like to hear a couple of sharing.
Peggy.
Hello.
Hello.
If when the others are preparing, you don't mind, huh?
Yes.
Because I really how to say, I'm excited with exercise. So this today I saw the topic of the talk today. I just felt happy and why actually I feel like not exercise people, but what before pandemic I don't want to spend too much time for that, but during the pandemic, because of the lockdown, some activities just couldn't join. But when I tried that, I was so weak. No, really can that there's one maybe 2 3 times I find that I was so weak. Then because something happened, I started to go for exercise. And at first, even when I was walking on the road, I find that even my step is not steady until then I went to the town park. Actually, I just walk and after some time I walk further to a stadium. Then I have been staying in this area for maybe more than 20 years, but I think it was this was the first time I really enter into the stadium. And at first I just walk. After some time, I find that I like to start to jog, even jog very slowly. But it seems like it's improving. Then thank God these days I can jog 3 rounds. Need not to rest. And I also like dance for maybe 10 minutes. And I really find that dancing can help me to preventing me to fall. This is what I think only. Then also before I leave the stadium, I also have some exercise. Altogether, from I go out from my door and come back about 1 hour or one, and also anyway every morning because of the become a habit to me. Even raining day, I will wait until the rain stop, but it's not too late now, not so too hot. I still go. Why I'm excited? Though sometimes before maybe I have shared some already heard, but I really feel that because if I'm not an exercise people, for the environment I have to I change, but this day I really enjoy the benefit. I find that my health really improved and happier, because also meet people, they also go for exercise regularly, and maybe because of what the chemical in our brain really cause us happy, and when we meet one another, we also feel happy. Okay,
Thank you, Christina. Yeah, I think your story really inspire all of us. Because from when you shared previously, you used to not exercise at all, and then before during COVID, you realized that even some small steps you will feel unstable, and actually after that you actually incorporated some exercise. You started slow, you started walking, and then you walk further, you walk to the stadium, and then after you started jogging as well, and wow, 3 rounds without stopping. That's very good. Like thanks for being such an inspiration to all of us. So I think from what we can learn, I'm sure all of you also have your own stories to share, and how exercise, or maybe like movements, need not to be exercise, like vigorous exercise, sometimes small movement, like taking steps to walk, climb the stairs today, or for example walking to one bus stop away to, and all these are actually small steps. It may seem small, but they are actually beneficial for health, even though we may or may not know it. Okay, so next I will move on a little to what the HPB, the National Physical Activity Guidelines, what is recommended for us. Okay, so for older adults above, what is recommended is at least 150 minutes of a moderate intensity activity. That's considered brisk walking, or 75 minutes of a vigorous aerobic activity such as jogging per week. And on top of that, you also recommended to improve your muscular fitness. So for example, just now, like what I shared, the resistance band exercises, or strength training, or your body weight training. So we recommended to do this actually at least 2 days a week. And the also a new guideline is also actually to include exercise to improve your neuromotor fitness. So our neuromotor fitness, for example, is to incorporate strength and functional balance. So like I think some of you may not be able to put all these numbers into your head just by looking at the number. So I would just like to draw for example, an example of an exercise session that you can start weekly. So for those of you, for example, who currently not working out at all, maybe you can start by doing something lighter, for example, brisk walking. So if we break this 150 minutes down, so 150 minutes seems like so long, but we don't have to do it like one shot. I think it's also not recommended to do it one shot also. So when we start, maybe we can break it down to 30 minutes per session. So 30 minutes of brisk walking for 5 days. That sounds better, right? Rather than 150 minutes. Sounds quite scary also. Or for those of you who are currently already jogging or running even for vigorous activity, so usually recommended is like 75 minutes. So for example, if a run or a jog is usually 25 minutes, you times 3, you already will hit the 75 minutes already. Yeah, and usually for neuromotor fitness, when you want to incorporate it, usually like for example, if you go for a dance or Zumba resistance training, also will help us to hit our goals quite easily lah. And so this is just for your knowledge. Okay, so usually when we talk about moderate intensity, vigorous or high intensity workout, usually they will look at your heart rate range. But of course, everybody's body is different, everybody's heart is different also, your max heart rate is different. So you want to look at the last column. So usually for low intensity, when we say, usually when you walk very slowly, leisurely walk, usually you can sing to yourself, you can talk to yourself. And then usually for moderate, when you start doing a brisk walking, for example, you can talk. If you go with your friend, you can talk, but then when you start singing, it's a bit like chuan already, like yeah. And then for high intensity, like even talking is difficult. You know, your friend, for example, maybe you go with your friend, you want to jog, but your friend's still walking, and then your friend keeps talking to you, but you can tell your friend to hold on. You just want to exercise first. So yeah, usually that's how we gauge the intensity levels. Okay, so okay, now we'll just move on just a very short topic about exercise related injuries, and we have some very brief measures on how to manage them, because with exercise comes, if you are not careful, I think actually there's a risk of injuring yourself. So this topic is also still important, and okay, I will try to make it less technical. Okay, so some of the common injuries that you usually may feel that, for example, muscle strain or ligament sprain, or your tears or sprain of the tendons. So for example, some of you may, these terms may be very, maybe very big, but then so just to break it down, that the ligament is actually okay, I think next slide I will show you just briefly how it looks like. Okay, so if you can look at the bones, the bones picture, so the ligament is actually the connective tissue between one bone, the one on top. Yes, so it's actually connecting one end of the bone to another bone. Wow, when we talk about tendons, so tendon is actually a fibrous cord between the muscle tissue to the bones. So one is bone to bone, and then one is the muscles to bone. So but when we injure ourselves, we wouldn't think to ourselves whether I have a ligament tear or a tendon tear. Is just painful, correct? So usually before that, let's say muscle strains and sprains considered some of the not so dangerous injury, but then when we start to dislocate joints, fractured bones, these are the more dangerous injury. And usually, move on to the next. So these injuries are usually classified into two broad categories. One is the acute injury. So acute injury is actually occurs suddenly during the activity. For example, you are stretching and then suddenly you feel an ache. So some signs of these injuries include sudden severe pain, swelling at a particular part, or inability to place weight on your body weight on your lower limb, for example, or extreme tenderness in an upper limb. Some of you, or some of us, may also feel like the inability to move a joint to its full range of motion. For example, last time you can lift your arm all the way up, but then now you can only lift like a bit, only you can't reach your full range. And also some may also experience the extreme limb weakness, or this visible dislocation, break of bone. That's a very dangerous form already. And when we talk about there's the other component, the other category, which is chronic injuries. So it's actually usually result from overusing one area of a body. Like for example, you play a sport for long periods of time, and then this one area of your body actually is overused, and then you develop chronic injuries. So it's usually a dull ache when at rest, and usually you can observe some swelling going on as well. Okay, so what to do in the event of an injury? Like what I mentioned just now, you wouldn't be thinking whether it's a tendon sprain. I think I sprained my tendon or my ligament, you know. So usually in the pain of injury, right? Do not try to work through the pain, you know. When you feel pain from doing an activity, you should stop immediately. Let's say if you're in a group setting and your friends are all still there, and you know you want to continue doing the activity, but then the recommendation is to stop whatever you are doing, because if you continue, you might actually injure it even more. Okay, so when to seek medical treatment? Okay, so when you start to realize that this injury is very, very, very painful, or is a big swelling or a numbness, and you cannot put any weight on the area. For example, you can't even stand up or move your hand at all. Or example, for chronic conditions, actually the dull ache of your own injuries accompanied by increased swelling or abnormality. So these are usually when you should really look to see the doctor. And okay, but then for example, for those who symptoms not as serious as mentioned earlier, it is likely safe to treat the injury at home for the time being. So the important thing that to remember for this component is actually RISE. Okay, so RISE, R actually stands for rest, resting the injured part. Okay, so for example, you want to really stop any activity at that period of time. And then for I, it's actually ice. So to apply the ice pack on top of your injury spot. And then for C, that's actually your compression. So you want to compress the injured part with an elastic bandage or any bandages that you have at home. And for E is actually elevation. So we want to elevate the injured part. For example, putting up your injured leg at on top of a stool, for example, if you are sitting down. And yeah, so these are the 4 basic steps. But let's say if the pain or other symptoms worsen, so want you to go back and check with your healthcare provider just to seek medical attention immediately. Okay, so before we even injure ourselves, right? And now we want to encourage exercise. What can you do to recover properly from an exercise? So is to prevent any injuries from happening. Okay, so after we exercise, I think we usually sweat a lot, break out a lot of sweat. So hydration is very important, and also to some of you that experience tired muscles, you can also actually apply ice packs just to cool down the muscles. And also it's recommended not to take any hot baths immediately after exercising because it actually increases the muscle tense in the muscles. And so make sure that we have enough sleep before exercising and also after exercising, because we are putting our body through a lot of stress during the activity part. And also for some of you who might find it helpful, you can do sports massage and also active recovery. And important thing is to also have a proper nutrition as well. What we eat before and after would actually help with the exercise. Yeah, and also use of compression garments. So when we wear compressive wear, for example, tights. Yes, so actually the compressive exercises, compressive garment is actually used to provide support for those with who stand longer periods or those with poorer blood circulation. Yeah. Okay, so the next one. Okay, so we have a little clip on this is Minister Ong. So actually recently he shared on his Facebook that he actually did a kneecap surgery, and his this is his rehab journey. Just a 1 minute clip for just to let you see a little. Okay, wait.
Surgery, so see what I'm doing to regain my mobility. A question I have is, all these exercises is strengthening my muscles so that I can regain mobility, but wouldn't that also apply to old folks? Because I meet so many seniors who say, I cannot walk, so refuse to go out, refuse to exercise.
Yes, definitely these exercises will help our seniors maintain the strength that they have or even improve on the strength.
So thank you very much, Ms. Ng, for the advice. So all the exercises I'm doing, you can also do to regain your mobility.
Okay, thank you, Alan, for sharing. Yeah, so we actually have one more video to share while he's prepping. I just want to show, just to brief about the video. So like what he has mentioned, actually this exercise, even though it may seem so light and so small, it actually helps with helping us to regain strength, especially after exercise or surgery. And yes, so next, yeah, we just have a small video on encouraging seniors to be active. And I think we feel very motivated and inspired also by the two seniors in the video. Okay.
When we exercise, I become a bit healthy in the sense that I don't feel lethargic. So, you know, it motivates me a lot that we want to come down every morning. And the circle of friends getting bigger and bigger.
我退休是为了我的孙子出世。到了他上幼儿园大概2岁的时候，没有地方去，有朋友介绍说这里有一间 Pacific Activity Center， 那就开始参加他们的运动。
They have this aqua aerobic. We play with the games, and then we will relieve our stress when we're in the pool because it's light.
那其实我有那个膝盖痛的问题，医生也曾经跟我说过，如果能到游泳池水里面走动是很好的。
We seniors, when we retire, everybody don't have a full income lah. So if there is a free gym, of course we would like to go. Everybody would like to enjoy, and we also encourage a lot of people will go there. We hope everybody will come out of their home and then be more happy, and then at least they can spend their time more outside rather than staying at home, you see.
我希望能回馈社会，然后鼓励多一些乐龄人士来参与我们这些运动。
Yeah, thank you everyone for listening. I think today's topic is also very in line with the Healthier SG, when the government is actually encouraging all of us to be active, to take ownership of our health also. And so to summarize, I know it's a very long, very technical presentation today. So thank you very much for your patience in listening to me. So what we want to summarize is that exercise, there are actually a lot of benefits to exercising to help to reduce your chronic conditions. And also the 4 components of physical activity importantly is your cardio, respiratory, your muscular fitness, neuromotor fitness, and flexibility. So we can work on these different areas to stay physically fit. And also 2 main types, one acute and chronic injury. If not as important to see the doctor, there's the RISE method, which is to rest, ice, compress, and elevate. And also to recover properly from each exercise session is actually an important factor to prevent your injuries. Okay, so now we have a short Q&A session. And while some of you are, you can actually ask any questions, throw any questions, and we have 5 minutes to answer. And let's say while some of you are thinking of the questions, we'll take a short photo just to capture everyone. So you can turn on your cameras if you are okay to share, and then we can see all of your beautiful faces. Then my colleague Ellen will help to take the picture. Yes. Thank you. Okay, so my colleague Ellen will also be putting on an evaluation form in the chat box. So for those of you who can, you can help us and then to write the evaluation, because we also want to improve further also. And for those of you can scan the QR code to get the points.
Hi Josephine, can we have the link to the exercises, please?
Yes, okay, I'll put it in the chat. Is that okay?
Yes, please, thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, yeah, I have the evaluation link. What about the exercise video?
Okay, give me a minute. Let me. I'm pasting it in the thing here. The first one is the flexibility exercise, the stretches.
You mean this one, the YouTube one? Watch, continue. Yes. This one, huh?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And then I'll put the resistance band one inside as well. Wait, give me 1 minute. Thank you.
Thank you.
New SK2 #1 brightening essence. 为什么还有呢？还有，我以为没有了。
Okay, pasting one more. Okay, yeah, these are the 2 videos that I've shared just now for the exercises. So actually, once for those of you who are familiar with YouTube, once you click in one, they will suggest more and more videos, so you can find those videos from the same same account. Okay, yes, and thank you everyone again. So nice to see all of you every Monday.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
See you next
Bye
week.
bye.
next week will be the same topic in Mandarin. So for those of you who have friends who speak Mandarin, you can actually recommend them to come in to listen to the talk. Yeah, same time as well. Okay. Yeah, so for, let's say after this is this will be closed, and if you need the links, we can you actually text my colleague Alan. I'll put in his number as well. Okay, thank you everyone.
Josephine, thank you very much for the talk, and I really wish everyone here have a good health.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
And
you.
hope that we have a good health. Yes. Thank you, you too.
Yes, thank you.